recording as well. So everybody try and be nice. So good, Dad. Hope you're well. I am good, thank you. I'm very good. So yeah, today we'll be covering symptoms, causes, diagnosis, treatment, living with, and support groups. Obviously, we plan to hopefully get through all of them. We plan to hopefully get through all of the subjects, but we will be restricting it down to the first hour. It might go over just a little bit, but we will get there. You look very handsome as always. Well, thank you very kindly, Miss Wickham. Thank you. So, yeah, we will probably just start with diving straight in with the symptoms, just reeling off some of the things, like the psychological symptoms and the physical symptoms and stuff like that. Obviously, as you can probably tell, I'm not an overly confident speaker about stuff like this. I do try my best, and I'm trying to make sure that I put it in the best terms as possible. And as you know, we're trying to do these on the last day of every month. It's a day where I completely disregard doing well. A day that seems like a bad time for him to down every. The day where I disregard view numbers or subs or anything. Obviously, it's all massively appreciated, but I don't let myself get overly concerned by it because I'm more bothered about trying to spread a positive message and trying to just open people's eyes to things. Hey man, right, I fully stopped playing games, started eating healthy and doing sports now, and I'm going out a lot more. That's awesome, Ledo. And what a day to come in and say that on as well. That sounds amazing, dude. Nice to see you back in here as well. So obviously we'll start off with the psychological symptoms. This is clinical depression, guys. So obviously it can be a bit touchy. If you have an opinion you'd like to put in, then please feel free and we can discuss it. If you have anything that maybe I can help talk you through, then that'd be amazing. If you ever want to talk about ADHD, I can help by talking about exactly, man. That's amazing. So yeah, so today, starting off with psychological symptoms. So anyone that's experienced it themselves before, or feels like they have, so like the symptoms of depression can be very complex. They can vary widely between people. If you're depressed, you may feel sad, hopeless, and lose interest in things you used to enjoy. As the Pokemon sounds are going off, we love to hear it. And you lose interest in the things that you used to enjoy, which happens to us all at some point in life. The symptoms can persist for weeks, months, and are bad enough to interfere with your work, social life, and family. You're okay to throw your Pokeballs. Feel free, guys. You're here to enjoy yourself as well as listen to this stuff, okay? There are many more symptoms of depression, and you're unlikely to have all of those listed. Like, I'm trying to do my research into things and learn things myself, as I'm hoping or intending to go to college to do psychiatry in the summer. So this is my way of kind of like educating myself as well as doing something which I think is quite nice for everybody else. So obviously you've got the psychological symptoms, which are things such as continuous low mood or sadness, feeling hopeless, helpless, having a low self-esteem, feeling tearful all the time, guilt-ridden, irritable, and intolerant of others, having no motivation or interest in things, finding it difficult to make decisions, not getting enjoyment out of life, feeling anxious or worried, having, well, let's just say bad thoughts or of any kind. Yeah, why I'm not up. That's why I'm not up a lot anymore. I'm going out a lot now. Ooh, very nice, Mr. Ledo. So, like, obviously, you see a lot of people doing things like this on TikTok and stuff. We discussed this in the anxiety one, where they push everything off as ADHD to try and to learn. They try and push everything off as ADHD to try and, because if it like appeals to the younger community, for that to be an issue as opposed to being depressed and stuff. But things like low self-esteem, which we all suffer with. Nobody thinks they're perfect, so everybody suffers with a low self-esteem, but it can get to a point of where you're really down about yourself. They're irritable and intolerant of others, so like if people are winding you up quite easily, you're not really enjoying people's company and stuff like that, and they're just getting you wound up and angry and just wanting to explode and shout. Simple things like that. So if you ever find that there's somebody in your life that does that to you, maybe you need to either talk to them or cut that tie. When you're not getting any enjoyment out of life, you're doing the same thing every day, from one thing to the next, and just finding yourself just sat there, upset, unhappy, not feeling fulfilled. And yeah, so depression doesn't have to be this thing where it puts you into a spiral, into a hole where you're just so down in the dumps that you don't do anything. But as it says, as I said in the next bit, having no motivation or interest in things, it's kind of a double-edged sword because of the lack of motivation to do things. Um, Stops you from getting out and finding interest in things, and that's where obviously the double-edged sword comes in, because you want to get out, you want to do things, but you find yourself trapped and not wanting to do it at the same time. Something in your brain tells you not to, and it's a hard thing to beat. And there's no simple fix, no simple answer, and everybody's answer is completely different. Um, but yeah, if you find yourself suffering with anxiety or social anxiety, anything like that, then you could be leading yourself down a dark path if you don't go and try and sort it as soon as possible. So these are the link to PTSD. I learned that as I am epileptic and suffer with mental health. That sucks ass. Yeah, but I could see that definitely. And then obviously you've got the physical symptoms of it. As I said, we're gonna try and see if this can last for about an hour, and then we'll move on to some Dead by Daylight afterwards. But the recording's going to be for an hour, so. Moving or speaking more slowly than usual. So if you find yourself just being lethargic and not putting much effort into a lot of things, then yeah, changes in appetite or weight usually decreased, but sometimes increased. So if you find yourself not wanting to eat, not feeling hungry, just genuinely ignoring the base of body instincts and the base of body needs, then definitely speak to somebody about it. Believe it or not, guys, constipation is a form of it as well. If you find yourself struggling to go to the toilet, then because you're stressed and you're blocked up and you just, yeah, unexplained aches and pains. So if you find yourself with your back hurting all the time, but yet you're quite fit and healthy, your shoulders, your legs, all that sort of stuff. Lack of energy, which is something I experience quite often. Low sex drive, loss of libido. Guilty. Sorry. But no, yeah, so if you find yourself not finding sex overly appealing, not finding any desire to go out and experience it and find love of any sort, then once again, another kind. Changes to for the ladies out there, changes to your menstrual cycle. So if you find that you're starting to become irregular and everything with it, could be because of your mental state is pushing you into your body just wanting to change and not wanting to agree with what you're used to. So, yeah, interview update I have one. Nice, James. Doing what, buddy? Disturbed sleep, for example, find it difficult to fall asleep at night or waking up very early in the morning. So, as everybody that would know me for the streaming world would know, that I spent the last like 4 months falling asleep at 6 a.m. in the morning, waking up at 8 a.m. And yeah, let's just say that when I was waking up on the days, I wasn't very happy. Yo, Lee, welcome in, buddy. But yeah, they're the physical symptoms, and I feel like them physical symptoms are stuff that everybody experiences, that everybody goes through. But it's when they start becoming consistent and like continuous is when you need to start really trying to figure out what is wrong and what is going on with it all. But yeah, does anybody have any points to put across or questions they'd like to ask while we're moving through? So obviously we've covered the psychological and physical symptoms of clinical depression. I'm good, thank you, Lee. We're just doing, as I said in the shout-outs for the stream today, we are doing our once a month mental health matters talk, which is obviously discussing mental health and all the downfalls and all that stuff of it. Obviously, like I said, everybody is more than welcome to put in their opinion. Everybody's more than welcome to open up discussions about stuff, and hopefully you do. Who did? Come on, guys, who did that? I'm trying to be like serious here, and you're doing stuff like that. Come on, man. Thank you, Payne. I've seen the name. Thank you, buddy. Our mental health affects my family, like my children. Honestly, it's truly hard and sad. It is, especially when it's close to home, and you have to try and put on a strong front to help other people get through their own traumatic times, and then that can end up obviously weighing down harder on you, which is as bad as it sounds, which is why over the last month I would say I've been making a big strive to make sure that I come first in everything that I do. Like, I love my community, I love all the people I've got around me, I love my family, I love everybody that's involved with my life, but I've spent the last 30 years of my life trying to make sure that everybody around me is happy before taking into my own consideration, which is why I am. Oh, here we go with the mind blanks. This is I suffer quite bad of anxiety, and this is this is part of it. But it's gone. I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. It's completely gone. Yeah, which is why I'm putting myself first and trying to make sure that I'm smiling before I make other people smile. Because if I'm smiling, it means that I find it easier to make other people smile. If I'm happy, it makes it easier for me to make other people happy, and I don't need to force it through. I don't need to try and hide behind a smile, because we've seen so many great people in the history of human beings in general fall to hiding behind a smile and hiding behind emotions. So I'm trying to make it my point of standing up and doing it about it. I've been struggling with personality disorder, borderline personality, struggling big time. Thank you for the hug, Nikki. And I'll explain why that's gone after as well, Nikki, in case you're curious. It's nothing personal. I still love you, obviously. What do you mean by borderline personality disorder? What could you explain a little bit for us, if you're okay with doing that? Obviously, that can mean a lot of different kind of things come out at once. Yeah, my anxiety causes me to forget what I'm saying a lot. If I start stuttering and just go quiet for like 10-15 seconds, it's usually because of my brain's just lost track of where I'm going. Yeah, that is very difficult. And while we wait for that reply there, we forget about ourselves, which is self-care. However, sometimes we don't realize it until something drastic happens, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. And I got really lucky. I found a group of people on the internet, Risky Kating, Chaos Ross, Tatsuya, Axis, Ghostly Lilith, Ghostly Goat, Dino Nuggies, all these beautiful, wonderful people that accepted me into their group. And I was in a very dark spot. I was on the, I'd say I was on the cusp, I was on the verge of doing something very stupid. And they saved me. They pulled me out of a dark place. And I got so enthralled and so attached to the group, where then it started persisting to become the same issue again. But not because anything they had done, because I was becoming reliant on them as a group of people to help me smile every day, whereas I needed to learn to smile on my own. And that's why I broke away. Well, I haven't broke away from it. That's why I kind of started, like with my streaming, I started going back to playing by myself, and started to go streaming by myself, so I could learn to be entertaining by myself again, so I could learn to smile by myself again, and really benefit myself. Like, they all know that I still love them all. They all know that I really want to hang around with them and I want to hang out with them. But when I stream, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on myself and not keeping other people happy. I won't be watching, but thank you, Phoenix. I understand, buddy. Don't worry. I know it can be quite sensitive and serious for some people to talk about this stuff, but my DM's always open. I may not be the best at getting things across, and I may not be actually that helpful to a lot of people, but I'm trying my best to make it so my community feels a love and a bond between me and them. And if it means being in DMs, that's great. If it means being in the stream, it's amazing as well. Borderline personality disorder is a mental health disorder that impacts the way you think and feel about yourself and others, causing problems functioning in everyday life. It includes self-image issues, difficulty managing emotions and behavior, and a pattern of unstable relationships. With borderline personality disorder, you have an intense fear of abandonment or instability, and you may have difficulty tolerating being alone, yet inappropriate anger, impulsiveness, and frequent mood swings may push others away, even though you want to have loving and lasting relationships. That describes me to a T. This is great. Last few months I've been super depressed, quit my job because I thought that it would help. It did for a while, but was never 100% better. Ooh. Summer day when you were gone, I crashed that car into a bridge. I watched that let it burn. I pushed the shit into the fire. That's one of our mods entering there, Mrs. Risky _K_Inc. Make sure you follow her as well on Twitch, guys. If you do watch this YouTube video, she'll make you smile every day, I promise. Becoming a part of your community's last few days has helped a bit. Hope to get to know you all and others and more. This is great. Okay, that's a copy and paste. more and more. Like, I've never really talked to anyone about my depression, but feel safe to talk about it in here. And I thank you so much for these streams. You're absolutely welcome, Tricky. Like I said, we do these once a month just to get the word out and just to make sure that everyone in my community is okay, their mental health is in the place it needs to be, and if it's not, we can help and we can talk. And there's plenty of people that, especially in the Twitch world, as much as the Twitch world can induce and force anxiety and depression and loneliness, it can do that because if you're constantly on your own trying to strive to be better than everybody else, and that can cause a severe break in your brain. It can trying to be better than the millions that stream on Twitch is never going to happen. Like, you might get lucky, but at the same time, you need to embrace the friendships you're going to make on it. You need to embrace the people you're going to meet, and you need to just embrace all the haters as well, because the more that they try and attack you, the more you're going to get used to it, and the more that you're going to be able to cope and deal and stand against it. Yo, Tobias, welcome in. Good soup. How's it going, my friend? I won't be watching at your time. So glad you have people to help you get back on your feet again. Thank you, Nikki. Sent that twice. Only read second one, guys. So it's okay. Yeah, thanks. I just got school concerning, which starts tomorrow. That's okay. That might be me. What might be you, Risky? Oh, the borderline personality. Thank you for the host, Phoenix. We are in your community. We aren't okay. Wow. There you go. Don't go and follow Risky K in YouTube. Don't do that. It's important to be open about mental health, not only for others to understand, but to show yourself you are not alone. Yo, best me. Yeah, the borderline. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Risky. Oh, okay, school counselling. What, Phoenix, you know that there's that mental health tab in our Discord. You know that people will reply and that people will talk to you. And if you'd rather keep it private, I'm just playing to, you know, that I know, Risky. But like, I always try and make a point to my whole community that I'm open, that I try not to keep anything hidden, and that I am here and I am me. Like, that's how I try and do it. And I will openly admit when I'm having an anxiety attack on my stream. I'll openly admit when I dislike a moment or a subject or a persona, not a person. So I try and keep it that way, keep it as transparent as possible, so that people can learn to trust me and that people can learn that I may not be the best, but I am reliable. I think it's probably the best way to put it. Thank you for everyone with your input there as well. I really appreciate it. And I know that it can be hard to type this stuff out. I know it can be hard to put it into the public eye. Payne, once again, thank you so much for doing what you just did. If people could head over to my Mole, you know, welcome in, Delicate. How you doing? If people could head over to my Twitter and retweet the post about today's stream, that would be amazing. We're gonna move on to the social symptoms now. So we've covered physical and psychological. Thank you for the hydrate there. I'm not so good. I haven't done much research into the social symptoms, so this is going to be more of a read straight from a book kind of thing, because obviously I've taken notes on all the subjects, but the social symptoms one is something that I struggle quite badly with, and I've still not learned myself how to overcome it. So this is where I really will be opening up the floor for people's ideas and people's opinions on how to help deal with social symptoms of depression. So things like avoiding contact with friends and taking part in fewer social activities, neglecting your hobbies and interests. So for video gamers, I guess that's not such a big one, because let's be honest, all of our hobbies and interests are pretty much video games. I think a lot of us dive into video games because we neglect our original hobbies and interests, and video games makes it easy. The online life makes it easy because you can be whoever you want to be. Like, I could tell you I'm a millionaire and you can argue against it. You could be like, prove it. I don't have to. Like, in my head, I've still told people I'm a millionaire. Having difficulties in your home, work, or family life. Like, if you're being a self-saboteur when it comes to your home, work, or family life, then maybe time to reach out for some help. If you're if you're neglecting your hobbies and interests, then try and find a friend that you know pull you out of it. Even if you are trying to avoid contact with them, but they just don't give up on you. They knock on your door, they pull you out of your house, they come around with food or drinks, and they will comfort you. Like, you need to find somebody in your life that will do that. And I know it's hard in this day and age, but like, the friend that won't give up on you and the friend that constantly checks that you're okay, whether or not you're ignoring them or not. Like, they could send you 5 messages a day and you don't reply, but they don't stop messaging. They're the friends that you need to keep. It really be rough going through it, especially when you feel like everyone's against you. Yes, there is best, and I love the name for today. Best me there can be. Like, when you feel like the world's against you, that's when you find out whether you're a fight or a fight or fly kind of person. And I've had a lot of people over the last month, because obviously, welcome in, Skinny. obviously we've on this channel we have seen a phenomenal growth over the last month on my Twitch channel. Phenomenal support, phenomenal friends that we've met along the way, and I've actually had quite a few people messaging me that things aren't going their way, which is horrible to think because they're my friends and I don't know how I can help them. But I've also had people messaging me that are saying that I don't deserve it, and I know that in my head I don't deserve it, but when you're having people telling you left, right, and center, how are you doing it? You shouldn't be able to do this. Why do you get so lucky? Like, and all this stuff. If people could see the amount of work over the last month that I've been putting in behind the scenes to try and get myself up to a level where I can deem myself starting to become mildly successful on this platform, then, like, because I think if you get over 10 average viewers, I think you're mildly successful on Twitch with the amount of streamers that are out there. But yeah, so I've had a hard time in the sense of trying to deal with people messaging me constantly telling me that I don't deserve it, that I shouldn't be here, that I don't like everything that comes my way I shouldn't have. But then on the flip side, having people messaging me asking me for advice and support in what they're doing, and I do try my best. I've been they obviously know in here, they know I've been a terrible friend over the last like month or so, but it's been simply out of self betterment to try and improve myself. And it's horrible to say that, but I'm still a friend to everybody that I've ever been a friend with, if they want me to be. I just need to. I've needed to really, really, really focus on myself and pick myself up, and I'm sure a lot of people can understand that. You deserve 100% everything. I struggle every day to hit the live button because of depression. Yeah, Risky, I'm the same. I've said to you before, but I have almost an anxiety attack every time before I press the go live button, guys. I'm not even gonna lie, open and honest as always. Oh, hello, Inventor. Oh my god. And I do struggle, but because of the community I've built and the community that I'm starting to grind even more together now, I find it very, very overwhelming with the fact that I can sit here doing a mental health talk. I don't know how many people are here right now, but I have so many people talking to me and asking me, and they're genuinely here for, I don't know whether it's for me or for themselves, because of this whole talk is to have everybody open and honest and just be as much of a transparent person as they can be. Talks about putting in work but refuses. I can't draw a goat, Desmond. Oh, sorry. How have you been? I missed my British Mark. I've been good, thank you, Skinny. How have you been, my friend? How's the girlfriend? You 100% I don't. Send the haters my way and I'll deal with it. Let's go, Risky. I've just missed the message. Where is it? Oh, I scrolled up. I've been dealing with depression anxiety for a while now. I've been seeing a therapist to help deal with it, and will be going on medication. I've always been a person to never share my feelings, and it's been hard to open up to others, but I know it's the way to recover. Just know it was hard to type this also, and thank you, Multi, for giving us a chance to open up and share. I understand, and I appreciate the fact that you wanted to type that. I'm gonna start crying in a minute. I appreciate that, Fishman. It's always a safe place, and Fishman's one of the main people who, when I was having my hard time over January, him coming in and speaking to me every day was one of the real reasons why I managed to shine through and see that I wasn't loving myself, and he's one of the main reasons why I've seen that. And it's just oh my god. Chance to open up and share. That's what it's here for. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to do. I would do it more, but as you can tell, I'm starting to cry now, and I don't think I could do it more than once a month at the moment. But thank you, Fishman, and I hope that everything does pick up for you, because ask Risky, ask anyone that comes through to watch. You're one of the nicest and fun people to watch that we see, and your love that you show across Twitch. Just like everybody here that watches people that just goes in and speaks to a streamer. If they've got one viewer and you show up and you start talking and you're nice and you're kind, then you've probably made that guy's day or that girl's day. Like, you've probably made their month if they're a really small streamer. It can be seriously mentally taxing being a streamer, because you never know if you're going to make it, if today's going to be the day or if tomorrow's going to be the day. You never know. So when you get that one person that comes in every day, then nothing else matters. Like, that's it. That's all that matters, is that one person. And that's why scroll back up again. That's why lately I've just been really trying to work on myself and focus on the positives. I used to keep myself down, or when I'd feel down, I'd make it worse for myself. Exactly. It took a lot to hit the enter button, that message. Jeez. Fishman, I'm glad you did, man. The more open people can be, the more transparent you can be, the easier. It'll seem hard at the time, but it'll be easier in the long run for you to open up and help deal with it and cope with it. Well, how's it going, Inventor Buddy? Get out of my comfort zone more. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you sharing that with us. So I'm still working with anxiety issues. Inventor, I wish I could say this, but the chances are once you've allowed that demon into your brain, they will never go. You just learn to cope with it as opposed to getting rid of it. Depression and anxiety are just full front demons. They're things that no matter how much positivity you spread into yourself, they will probably always be lingering there, but you learn how to beat it and you learn how to keep it at bay and you learn how to cope with it. And once you learn how to cope with it, you can almost work in tandem with it and use it to a positive effect. I'm not crying, you're crying. I am crying. My Twitch, Discord, Instagram is sort of like a positive affirmation for myself and just something positive in general. I love that. Turning everywhere you go into a... My wife gave me... Can somebody get rid of that message or ban them, please? I ain't got no time for people being like that. Kevin, Cameron, Isha, Bocklaws. No, I ain't got no time for that. Can we get rid of that person, please? Either delete the message or ban them. You are one of the most incredible people I have met. Exactly. Anxiety really hits me hard when pandemic strikes. Yeah. Over the last 2 to 3, after the last 2 to 3 years, everybody has upped it a million times over, and it's been so sucky for everybody. Even now, when near enough every country's starting to come out of it, it's still hitting people hard because there's still people that can't, that simply because of what the news tells them and because of stuff like that, they can't go and visit their loved ones because of health conditions. Tears are not weakness, it simply means you're the same as any other person. Building up is where the problem lays. It's very difficult to open up for. Exactly. We are good, we work a lot now. Roscoe's birthday is tomorrow, he's turning 1, so we are spoiling him tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get the HDMI dual splitter I need for Risky's capture card. You finally got the capture card, let's go. Thank you, Risky. Always. Yes, Kevin, that's messed up. Thanks, Mod. I tried to be, but my brain doesn't think so, and that's what I deal with every day. But you know, you mean a lot to me. I'm going to go sort myself out, get food, and then stream. I appreciate you doing this more, and I'm sure many others here appreciate it too. Thank you very much, Event. We will be playing games past 6 o'clock, so if people want to play DBD and stuff, we will be here for that. That's what I mean. No matter what, no matter how many professional people, no matter how many people you go to see, no matter how many people you go to see, no matter how much education you take, it all comes down to you being able to spot it. The moment you can spot that there's something wrong is the moment that you can really work on dealing with it. Like, I've known that I'm quite a depressed person. I suffer severely with anxiety, and I've known that for years. I can't figure out how to beat it. I've been to see people. I've been on the drugs. I've been on everything, and I just can't. So I just try and build as much of a positive aspect as possible around myself. Yeah, finally got it, so should have everything set up tomorrow. And nice, Skinny. I'm watching you while I'm at work. Thank goodness for Mondays. Let's go. I deal with my depression by trying to talk about it and deal with it, but like right now is when the biggest struggle occurs for me because it's so bad right now and I don't want to talk about it. It's why I've been off. Which, thank you, Best. Which is exactly it. Sorry I keep looking down here, guys. Somebody ordered me something, so I have to keep my eye out. It's getting over that hurdle of talking about it that's the hardest part. Obviously, I'm not qualified. I'm not the best person to talk to about any of this stuff, but I know that I can give out good. I know that I can give out good advice, and I know that I can at least put a positive energy into the world by trying to help people, and hopefully it'll come back round in waves towards me. One second. Why are you punching stream elements? But it's when it gets to its worst that's when you really shouldn't be trying to hold it in. Even if you, I don't know, this is a weird bit of advice that I could give you, Risky, that I do. If I'm feeling really, really down, and I know that I have stuff building up in me, I'll go and sit with my dog and cuddle up to him and just let everything, and I mean let everything out to my dog. So at least then, yeah, I haven't told a real person my issues, but I have let everything out that I am feeling at the moment, and just saying it out loud can be a massive, massive contributing and helping factor. It really can. Like, my dog is literally like he's like my therapist. He's my support. He's just, and I don't know if animals can hear what we say. I assume not, but he just sits and listens, and if I start tearing up, he gives me a little lick on the cheek and gets up closer to me. Yeah, he's a very good. Dogs are very good, or cats are very good for emotional support. Cats maybe not as much as dogs, but yeah. Foods, etc., can contribute to a certain mental health worsening. There are so many things. Our brains are very interesting. Yeah. Fast foods are terrible. High sugars are terrible. High caffeine is terrible. If you're somebody that suffers with anxiety, caffeine almost balances it out. So, if you feel an anxiety attack coming and you drink a can of Monster, it'll balance it out, but not for a benefit, because then obviously you have like a caffeine or a sugar crash, and it's just worsened 100 times over because of you doing it. So if you find yourself drinking a lot of energy drinks, you're probably someone that needs to go and speak to first a doctor and then maybe a therapist. I've gotten better. I control my depression and anger. I don't break my hand anymore. Don't have to. I get burned my fish oil on a daily on my hand, so that pain makes up for me trying to break my bones. I guess that's kind of a positive, Skinny. Try to be there for people how I can when I can, because I know that's what I'd want from someone, even though they don't talk much. Exactly. Just knowing that there's people there can be a massive help. I have a support cat and a support dog for the kids, and they do understand. I think they do. I love you too, am I? Have you finished your stream now? Sorry I had to dip for the end of it there. Very sorry I had to dip for the end of it there. Sorry guys, 1 second. Just pulling up my notes that I've taken. But yeah, so they're the social symptoms, and I know that went on a bit long. The social symptoms part went on for a very long point there. Next, it might get a bit more serious. We're going to be moving on to severities of depression. So this has got everybody's somebody's everything, nobody's nothing. Exactly. I've become my everything. I've learned that. I think I've learned in the last couple of months that I might actually be a likable person. So yeah, severities of depression, and these notes. I won't mention certain words in here just because they can be triggered, and I'm sure Twitch won't probably approve of them, even though it should be. Heard it in a song once and it hit me hard. I love that, man. Love you, Mole. Sorry, not sorry. Got to do it for the old time sakes. Got to do what for the old time sakes, Skinny? Depression can often come on gradually, so it can be difficult to notice. You absolute penile. Skinny, I hate you. So it can be difficult to notice something is wrong. Many people try to cope with their symptoms without realizing they are unwell. It can sometimes take a friend or family member to suggest something is wrong. Got you too, love it. To suggest something is wrong. Doctors describe depression by how serious it is, and obviously these are notes I've taken. It's not stuff that I've come out with just myself. I've just put in a little bit of research for it, and yeah. Mild depression has some impact on your daily life. Moderate depression has a significant impact on your daily life, and severe depression makes it almost impossible to get through daily life. A few people with severe depression may have psychotic symptoms, which is obviously something that you have to do research into if you feel like you're on that sort of line. The streaming community helps me a lot of my anxiety. Me being alone and away from my family is really nerve-wracking and saddening. I love how I stumbled upon and be a supporter of streamers. I felt I have another family where I can talk, spend time with, and have fun, even though I'm super miles away from everyone. Thanks, Mole, for being one of them. Well, thank you for finding me, Pain. You've been a breath of fresh air over this last week and a bit. I love you, man. No, you don't. I do a little bit, Skinny, just a little bit. The tenor has been caught by Wick and Willow. Let's go. So obviously, mild depression is, for me, the term mild depression is just we take that extra 20 minutes to get out of bed in the morning, where you have to be somewhere, but no matter what, you just find it hard to get out. Where you don't really talk to anybody, but you're still able to go to work, kind of thing, and the thought of interacting with people just kind of sucks a bit. And yeah, moderate depression will be where making it to work is a struggle, making it just to leave the house is a struggle, Like I would very much put myself in the bracket of agoraphobia, which is I really, really dislike being outside of the house. And some days it like scares me to be outside. Um, I don't want to talk to people. Got my first shiny Pokemon the other day. I was so excited. Little level 4 shiny. Nice. I have severe bipolar depression, severe anxiety, and schizophrenia. My depression is like Alabama weather. You never know what you're going to get day to day. Yeah, that's a whole lot of things going on there, Skinny. My uncle suffers with bipolar and depression and severe anxiety, but not. I don't think he's been diagnosed as a schizophrenic. Um, yeah. And then severe depression. I mean, I don't think I need to go too much detail into what severe depression is, um, but it is where you're in bed all day, you don't eat, you don't sleep, and when you do sleep, it's for like an hour. Um, you debate value and you debate self-worth all the time. And the one bit that I don't really want, I'm not going to go into it, but I will mention, you debate how much people would miss you, and it's yeah, it's a very touch. So if anybody feels like they suffer with severe depression and they would like to talk more about it, that would be something for DMs if you'd like to message me about it. But I don't want to. I know I shouldn't be scared to talk about it, but I don't want to upset people. The point of where I don't need to. So that one I will leave on the back burner. But if people want to message me privately, YouTube as well. If anyone on the YouTube video gets to the 45th minute, which I doubt, because I probably get about 30 seconds of view time, and then they see my face and they disappear. That's why I self-medicate with good green stuff. At least it's not loads of alcohol, Skinny. I guess that's a minor plus. My youngest son has that fear. He doesn't feel safe when I see his home. Yeah, see, I don't feel safe out. It's not that I don't feel safe outside. It's I'm scared that I'm going to do something stupid. And I can only really do something really stupid outside. Like on the internet, I can delete it. But yeah, so I medicate with liquids. Yes, you do, Risky, and that's not good. Which you shouldn't. And like I said, everybody that is here today, I hope that this isn't overbearing, isn't too much. Sorry, 1 second. I hope there isn't too much. If I am going too much, then please let me know and we can move on. I actually rarely drink now. I still have almost a full bottle of rum. That's brilliant, Skin. That's what I love to hear, man. I need to really try and watch my swear words. But that is amazing. Learning how to defend myself has definitely helped my confidence, and I just have more positive outlook. So, do you do like karate or something, or like jiu-jitsu, judo, taekwondo? Especially since it's always something I've been passionate about. I love to hear that, man. But does anybody have anything that they'd like? Yeah, you can say that. Okay, what do you mean, BS? It ain't killed me yet, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, it's not the yet that should be worrying you. No. Touching on to a sensitive subject, I'm guessing for Risky and maybe a couple of others, but alcoholism is probably, even though it feels like it's helping in the moment, it's definitely making things like depression 100% worse, because then you're becoming reliant on something that's unhealthy for you in the first place to make you feel any kind of happiness or any kind of just numb to emotion. And that's just basically saying that you bottle your emotions up, quite literally, pun intended. And yeah, luckily for me, I've never been someone that's fallen into things like alcohol and drugs because of depression. When I was a lot younger, I definitely did. I was every kind of drug addict under the sun while I was homeless for like 5 years. Every drug apart from the H one. See, I don't get anxious about people missing me if I'm not there, because I know the ones that really would, and there's not that many that truly would. But that means that you have a very, very, very good close circle. My friend teaches me karate, I guess you could say, but I've been trying to learn all sorts of things on my own as well. I'm going to start going to the gym soon to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is that? So if I go, that's a bloody lie, Risky. AKA what I used to do, which drink constantly and have constant attacks. Yeah, I am pretty much alcoholic, but after having anxiety, I did decide to tone down my drinking habits. No, that's it. Alcoholism is literally one of the worst things that you can do when it comes to trying to deal with emotions. I know it always seems like it's the easiest route to take, but it's the worst one. My dad used alcohol. He became dependent for years. He's sober now. He has severe bipolar mood disorders. Exactly. It can have such a long-lasting effect, just like cannabis. Cannabis can have the long-lasting effect of causing paranoia and schizophrenia and stuff. But obviously, well, I'm saying can. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. If you believe what you're told as you're growing up, then yeah. But yeah, I used to drink quite a bit, but lately I can tolerate a lot, or I feel sick. I barely drink, which I think is a big contributing factor to me. Since I stopped when I was about 24, which is when about 23, 24, which is when I came off being on all the drugs and drinking all the time and everything. I've still suffered with depression, anxiety my whole life since then, but I find that I'm able to pull myself out of a hole a lot quicker because I don't turn to anything. So yeah, I used to drink quite a bit, but once again, that's another thing. If people want to message me about that stuff and we can talk about it, and FaceTime if you want, whatever. Like, you can't leave. I need my best friend to tell me not to do stupid shit. Yeah, but you don't listen, Skinny. Stimulants will make anxiety. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like caffeine. Caffeine makes anxiety. From the moment that you drink, like I drink a can of Monster because I get like these weird, horrible feelings in my head, and it hurts. It almost feels like a headache. And then I drink a can of Monster and it goes. And then I know that that's anxiety taking over my brain. And then to cope with it, I drink the caffeine, and then I have a massive drop off. But luckily, the drop off comes when I'm about to go to bed. So, yeah. But yeah, grief and depression. It can be difficult, guys, to distinguish between grief and depression. Any drugs and cause drugs-based delusions. Hey, delusional. Any drugs and cause drug-based delusions. I don't. Was that a joke? I don't know. Oof, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's why people who live the modern world and the modern society suffer so badly with anxiety for the simple factor, and it's as simple as this, guys. The simple factor is that everybody lives day to day on coffee, and because you live on coffee, aka caffeine, you are inducing anxiety. You are making yourself suffer with anxiety because of it, which is why people wake up feeling like they need. Caffeine because of that anxiety purge in their brain. That's it. Caffeine is the biggest contributing factor to anxiety on the planet today. I've been trying to have more clean energy, but I try to only have energy when I work out, or sometimes at work, sometimes when I play with friends if I really feel like I need it. Bad joke, maybe? I was confused also. I can't word it right. That's okay, delusional. Thank you. I'll lower my caffeine intake now. It is very true. Or just buy decaf. Give me just 1 second, guys. It's quite warm. Yeah, guys, don't forget to head on over to the Twitter to retweet the post just to let people know what we're doing right now. Yeah, caffeine is a massive contributing factor. I wouldn't joke about delusions because, yeah, I know, delusional. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. But yeah, so anyway, it can be difficult to distinguish between grief and depression. They share many of the same characteristics, but there are important differences between them. Grief is an entirely natural response to a loss, while depression is an illness, which we all know to be very true. People who are grieving find their feelings sadness and loss come and go, but they are still able to enjoy things and look forward to the future, even if in the exact moment they don't. They will come out of a funk and they will start looking forward to their future. In contrast, people with depressed constantly feel sad. They find it difficult to enjoy anything or be positive about the future. So, like, I always have 2 coffee cups during work hours. Work setting is difficult. Work isn't too bad. Like, I would say if you drink caffeine while you're working, obviously it still contributes, but you're using it to keep yourself awake. If you're balancing work work life and caffeine, the best way that I can say to do it is if you drink caffeine, make sure you're getting in like half an hour's worth of exercise to release the endorphins to help reduce the mental health state, because then the caffeine kind of gets like balanced out. mental health does matter. Yes, it does. Depression can be a long-term effect from grief. It can be, yes, but obviously you'll notice the differences and you'll notice if the track is going in that direction. Like you can spot it. People will be able to see it. I saw your mental health stream. I was like, I've got to be there for this. Thank you, Delusional. Old Marmy mental health matters. Shut up, Daddy. But basic. When it comes, oh, when it went, when it comes to grief, it can be quite simple to not simple, but it can be a lot easier to pull somebody out of that state of being stuck in a downward spiral of grief. Whereas depression, no matter how many friends you have around you, no matter how many friends or people you have around you, it will always come down to you to pull yourself out of it. People can like delay it and like lessen it, but you still need to be the one that finds the inner mental strength to be able to break free from the clutches of it. Oh, my brain is breaking. Thanks, Dad. This is the first time I watched mental health stream. It's really informative. You're welcome, man. That person just followed me. Can we try and get rid of them again? I don't know how they followed me if they're not here. Depression is not fun to deal with. It is an absolute pain to deal with. Trust me. I know, Stuck. Oh yeah, completely. I don't actually remember my grief period for my stepdad, but deal with my depression on a daily, which I had no awareness of before that happened. Yeah, they can definitely blend into each other, and they can both feel exactly the same. But grief will eventually subside. Depression, not so much. For some of the people I've met on Twitch and whatnot, because I've gotten to know some lovely people, always full of good vibes. To be honest, as of lately, my friends that are thousands of miles away have been there more than the ones that are close to me. I don't even think I have friends close to me, best. I actually had losses last few weeks. It's been really hard for my friends. I'm super awkward about loss. I don't know how to help them. What do you mean you had losses, Delusional? I started smoking these again because I fell into a depressive state. Still on the ban list. Okay, cool. Thank you. So basically, obviously, you guys keep talking amongst yourselves about that. We're going to move on to the other types of depression. Like I said, abandon. Thank you, Risky. 2 people I know. That sucks, Delusional. I hope you're okay. So we're gonna move on to other types of depression. Oh my god. So there are different types of depression in some conditions. Maybe a multi-and private podcast once a week, limits like 6 people at a time, or if they feel comfortable on stream, something to think about. 100%, I'm down for doing that. Postnatal depression, sometimes new mothers, fathers, or there are different types of depressions and some conditions where depressions may be one of the symptoms. These include, so obviously, this is more for women, but obviously I know men can suffer with it, which is postnatal depression. I can't remember exactly what they call it for men. When it's postnatal depression, I can't remember what they call it, but they can suffer a kind of a similar aspect to it. I've forgotten to add that to my research notes. I can't remember postpartum. Is that what it's called for men? Postnatal depression. Sometimes new mothers, fathers, or partners develop depression after they have a baby. This is known as postnatal depression, and it's treated in a similar way to other types of depression. We're talking therapies and antidepressant medicines. No, it's postpartum depression for mums. Maybe it's just worded differently in America. Risky, I don't know. But from what the little bit that I did, not little bit, the bit of research that I did into it. Yo, thank you for the alert, Tommy. Deal with. I don't even like talking about it at all since it makes me feel like trash, and venting makes me feel selfish. Vent all you want, Stuck. Vent all you want, my friend. It shouldn't make you feel like trash. That is one of the biggest contributing factors of depression, is feeling like nobody wants to hear it. So obviously, me not being a parent myself, I can't really comment too much on this one, but and I've never been around anybody that has suffered with it, but from what you see in like documentaries and even films and TV shows who like put a big, you're absolutely fine to vent, Stuck. That's the point of today. We're not going on for 8. There are 2 different ways it occurs. Okay. So the other way is the way that you're describing, obviously, Risky. Gonna try to work out, so I'm gonna head out, but I'll catch you later. If you're still on later, let me know when you hop on DVD, and I'll get on if I can. Okay, Bess, thank you for being here, buddy. We are this, like I said, this is we're gonna aim for around an hour, maybe a bit over. Obviously with me and my stuttering, and blank moments is making it go on for a bit longer, but yeah. But yeah, obviously when TV shows, films, documentaries and stuff put quite a alright, FS for sure. Very well. Once I will start to vent, that is if you want. Do you want it here? And yeah, you can do it in here, man. Like I'm going through my notes and through the different types of depressions and stuff. But obviously everybody here is they're all venting, they're all letting out things that they want to let out, and that everybody's talking to people. So thank you, Delusional. So there is the mum that after the baby is born and doing any task, cleaning, feeding, changing baby is near impossible. When you're doing it is like zombie-like movements. Really? But yeah, you see a lot of TV shows and stuff putting quite the limelight onto this matter, because obviously it's a very serious matter, which out of all of the depressions, I would probably say it doesn't get enough recognition in the world of mental health and the world of mental state. Like obviously there's the whole big thing about men speaking up and all of that jazz, hence like man up, for example, the saying, which people really hate to hear these days, but that gets so much media coverage now, whereas postnatal depression is still something, or postpartum depression is something that still is in the back burner, but not the back burner, it's still like in the back. Then there is PPD, where the mum dives into those tasks, everything is done, and a lot of kids done all the time, but then the mum sleeps all the time too, it's more distracted. Okay. Sometimes the mothers can't care for their babies due to the PPD. Does not make you a bad parent, however, it needs to be helped. Yeah, it can lead to very bad paths, from what I can tell. It's either doing chores or sleeping for the second version. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I said, this is definitely something that I can't comment on too much, because not being an experience of it or knowing people that have experienced it. I tried to do as much into it as I could, but what I've just read is pretty much all I could really put together with limited knowledge of what to look for. I know that, like, for example, a mother could spend hours just lying next to their baby, just crying. They doubt their ability to be a mother. They doubt themselves, whether they're ready for it and whether they should be. And no mother should ever feel like that, because of, let's be honest, being a mum is the hardest job on the planet. But everyone that's a mum in here, you're all doing fantastic jobs. Like, your kids are fed, they're well looked after, they're clean, they got a roof over their head, they go to school, they're educated, they're loved, they're cared for, and they're just outright just perfect presentation and example of yourself, then there is what I'm dealing with now. Not a PPD, but my babies are gonna during the day. I've never felt more alone this past year than I have in 6 years, and I don't know how to cope with it. Mums are the best. Risky. That's that does that really does suck. Oh, that really does suck. The only like advice that I could give for something like that is, I know streaming is the is the focus and the hobby, but obviously streaming brings on its own a wave of mental health issues and struggles and productivity and all of that. That seems to me like you need to maybe, even if it's just going for a walk while they're at school and just getting out into nature and experiencing it, because I know that when I was really struggling, going for my daily walks into the woodlands and the fields and stuff really helped, because nature is a calming presence. And then who knows, maybe you could make a friend outside of the online world who could help and go with you, maybe minor gym or something, or minor exercises at home to release endorphins, to relax you and to put you into a state of a calm mind. Childhood depression and anxiety is also very huge in our world. Mental health does not discriminate. It hits anyone. Exactly. It really does. I feel that, like, I always fear that my little sisters are on that borderline, which is why I opened my doors to them. Yeah, as most people in here know, I took on my family by myself, and yeah, it's hard. Teenagers are hard. So yeah, be ready. I cry in a corner or in my bed and usually feel a little better after. Which is mad as it might seem, that is a very helpful solution to things. It's just to let the emotions run out and cry it out, and just to, it's not fun. That's why I struggle to stream alone. Yeah, I get that. It's why not long now. It's that is in itself. I know it's the opposite, but in the same sense, it's the reason why I started streaming by myself, because I could feel myself becoming reliant on people to do, to be able to do these things. So I had to try and, get back to being able to do it just by myself, and because in the streaming world, especially, you well, not especially, but you can become very reliant, as Risky has said there. Almost, you can become very reliant on people around you to help you get through it and get over it. And when you get to that point, then it doesn't cause toxicity, but it does cause like it can cause like a grief and it can cause unneeded, or not unneeded, unnecessary build of just the wrong emotions about it. And so being able to take it on by yourself and learn to do it by yourself is probably the biggest, it's the biggest hurdle, but at the same time it's the most helpful thing, is just knowing that you are, I'm saying this to all of you in here, male and female. Yo, Funko Mad, welcome in, buddy. How you doing, man? Thank you for the follow as well today, my friend. Always fun listening to music and dancing my emotions out helpful. Jonesy, you're kind of, that's very similar to me. Music is a very big mind improver for me. It's a very big emotional barrier, and it helps me get over a lot of things. As you've probably all seen in my recent streams, guys, for the first hour, I just sit here listening to my music, vibing with you all. We have like almost like a party. Yo, Taco, welcome in, buddy. We almost have like a party for the first hour usually every stream, and it really helps. It helps me. Hey, Smiley. It really helps me. Yeah, very good. Thank you, and no problem. You deserve it. Thank you, buddy. How would you find the stream today, and how's your day going, man? And it really helps me to get into the right mindset for my stream. Like, the reason why I've got this music playing in my ear now is because I'm talking about a very difficult few subjects, and they're really it helps me just to keep my mind in track. no matter what I'm talking about. So yeah, my biggest advice for somebody like Risky, same to you, love. I don't usually talk about it, but this map makes it easy to. Thank you, Risky. That does mean a lot. That really does. I love you. It really. My biggest advice to anyone is, no matter how down you feel when it comes to being a streamer, no matter how down you feel, just know that what you're doing, the fact that you even have one person that comes in and watches you, shows that you can do it, and that at some point you will break the mold and you will get your big break. And to learn to do it by yourself is what I would say is the biggest advice to anyone, because the moment you start finding yourself, like me and Risky did it quite, it became very intense very quickly. We just got to know each other and then spent every single day streaming together, and it made me realize that I love spending time with this person, but I need to make sure that I can still do it by myself, that I can still grow by myself, and that I can still entertain by myself. And like, there's nothing against anybody, nothing against anyone. I was saying at the start, Risky, I don't know if you caught it, how like you and Ross and everybody, you pulled me out of a very dark place, and I found myself towards like the last like 2 months, I found myself becoming so dependent that if nobody was around, I felt myself getting upset and emotional. So I had to really try and push myself. Oh, somebody's just knocked at my door. I do apologize, guys. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I was muted. Finding your own, like, I don't know. They were gone by the time I got there. Finding yourself a way of doing things on your own can be one of the most uplifting things to be able to do. Is probably the way that I would do it. But we are obviously pushing towards the back end of this, guys. So next on at my notes is bipolar disorder, which obviously Mr. Skinny himself is familiar with. I'm kind of familiar with it because of my uncle. But bipolar disorder, also known as manic depression. In bipolar disorder, there are spells of both depression and excessively high mood, mania. So obviously that's the flip of the personality. So you go from being crying to insanely happy within a split second. The depression symptoms are similar to clinical depression, but the bouts of mania can include harmful behavior such as gambling, going on spending sprees, and things like unsafe sex, wanting to go out and just blow it all the way and think that you're having the time of your life in a nightclub or something. So because of the erratic behavior that you can lead on to, it pushes you from side to side, and it's just a bit much sometimes. 1 second, we just got a nice long growing up, I had a great family and my folks treat me well. I am eternally grateful for it, but it makes me feel even worse about my depression. I have a bad, difficult time fighting against it for years, and I have been dealing with it, but it makes me feel even worse about depression. I have a difficult time fighting against it for years, and I have been dealing with self-confidence issues for as long as I can remember. Therapy has not worked, and I hate talking about the way I feel. So my only choice is to stay quiet and curl up in a ball until it goes away. I'm very young in comparison to streamers I watch and my family, and I have had a lot of pressure on me to succeed. I am in university now. I am one of the only people in my family to do it, so I feel like I carry my family and their hopes on me. I have had a lot of difficulty Well, 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, my McDonald's just got delivered to the next door. I do apologise. Be 1 second. I am so sorry, guys. So sorry. I have a lot of pressure on me to succeed, and there are people and having me being self forces me to put myself on the back burner. I know it's unhealthy, but I hate coming off whining and driving people away. I know people have it a lot worse, and I'm really grateful for the position I'm in. But it makes it, no matter what, nobody has it better or worse than anybody, my friend. If you feel bad about something, you feel bad about something. If you're down about something, you're down about something. That's how it is. When you combine bipolar with depression, your mood swings or flips can last from a few hours up to a few weeks of that mood before you really. Mars misdiagnosed. Chair stream. Love chair stream. I know that is the point of the stream, but I still feel bad for talking about it. I admit that finally letting it all out makes me feel a little bit better. Talking about myself for a change. Always feel free to talk about yourself, man. Come on. You know this. For very clear reasons, I was re-diagnosed as schizophrenia because bipolarism doesn't cause delusions. At least I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I don't think it does either. Chair was interested to talk. I bet it's absolutely peeing down with rain outside as well, guys, which is nice. Typical, what used to be typical British weather. But to put it bluntly, your depression is, in my opinion, it's what causes most people in today's day and age to be depressed. It's pressure. It's thinking you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be this person that stands up and takes everything on the shoulders and on the chest and just everything like that. And it leads to such a bad. It can lead to such a bad place. But I'm sure your family don't. I'm sure your family would love you to talk to them about this stuff, to open up and explain to them exactly how they do make you feel without them even probably intending to make you feel like that. But it also shows a lot about your own personality, that you want to be the person that wants to carry your family's name, that wants to do this, and that just it shows that you want to be a better person and that you want to improve yourself and improve everything around you before taking a moment for yourself. But that moment for yourself is the most important thing that you can do for your mental state. Get yourself, if you've got a bit of money behind you, get yourself a weekend away. Just go and chill on a beach somewhere, or visit a new city. Just anything, just to get yourself out and just to take a couple of days just to recharge and be you. Come back and take it on again, and then just keep giving yourself little breaks in between, and that feeling of depression and reliance and overbearingness will eventually, it will dwindle away if you start ticking things off on, say, like a list. If you have things on a list that you want to achieve, that you want to do, that you want to experience, and then find yourself the time to tick things off that list, so that yes, you're building yourself a career, you're building yourself a future, you're stacking yourself up to do things, but at the same time you're making sure to remember that you are young, that you are still, if you're at university, I'm going to guess 20, 21, something around that area, that you've still got your whole life ahead of you, and you don't need to rush to grab hold of everything right this second, right now. Like, I hit 30 and started streaming. Like, that's not an age where you should be going, right, I'm going to chuck my life to the wind and I'm going to start doing this. And it's had its highs and it's had its lows, but for the best part, I'm very happy in what I'm doing now and what I'm putting across and what I'm providing. And it's just, yeah, just remember to always, always, and this is to everybody, always make sure that you put yourself ahead of everything, at least from time to time. You are the most important person in your life, and there is never going to be anybody more important in your life than you, because you are you, and you are the reason why you're here, and you are the reason why you will remain to be here, and you are the reason why other people smile. Like, and in that other person that you've made smiles life, they're the most important person, but you are the reason why you are bringing a happiness to somebody, why you are bringing enjoyment to somebody, why they get to experience a moment of happiness because of you. And when you start thinking about it like that, I think it makes everything a whole lot easier. It makes everything a lot less stressful. Like, I started making my goal 2 years ago when I started doing this and in my other job, that if I can see or know that I've made one person smile in that day, then I have accomplished something. There'll be people that go through life that don't even try to make somebody smile. They never think about anyone else but themselves. And believe it or not, they might be some of the most depressed people you've probably ever come across, or they might be some of the happiest people you've ever come across. There's no telling on what somebody is hiding behind a smile or hiding behind something that isn't a smile. Like, I think Robin Williams said it best. Obviously, a great man that we lost. That a smile can hide 1,000 feelings or 1,000 emotions, and there's no more truer saying than that. But if somebody is smiling because of you've done something, then right there's a success. Like, if your family are smiling because you're succeeding, then you are succeeding. Like, that is you succeeding, is you making other people smile. Now all you need to do to, like, perfect that success is take that weekend, even if it's one weekend a year, just know that you have something to look forward to in that year, which is going to be self-reflect and self-build and self-beneficial times. I suppose that's fair. Thank you, Mar. I don't know why my state would be classified as, but talking about this means a lot to me. I've been holding all of this in for a long time, so it feels relieving actually having an opportunity to say this. I still feel a bit guilty because I want to make others happy and not focus on myself, but thank you again, Mar. I love you, Mar. I love you too, man. Never feel guilty for focusing on yourself, man. The moment you start to focus on yourself more than other people, the moment is when you'll start making other people happy. Like, you can't provide the happiness and the service for other people, not fully, not to a full extent, if you're not focusing on yourself. You have to make sure that you can get yourself happy, that you can make it so you can make yourself smile as well. Because then, I'm not going to say inner peace, or I'm not going to say perfect happiness or anything like that. Like, I can't tell you how to be happy all the time, but what I can do is, I'm glad I make you smile, Tobias. Thank you, buddy. You make me smile a lot and cry a lot, so yeah. Thank you, Payne. I couldn't have put it any better. But yeah, the longer you are focused more on if you're focused on making other people happy, you will never be happy. If you focus on making yourself happy, other people will be happy because of that. So, like, your own love and your own self-care is what will make other people happy in the long run, because of a more confident, a more happy, a more genuine smile and a genuine happiness and a genuine personality will resonate around the people around you, and they will. People can sense when you're actually happy and when you're trying to make somebody happy. They can sense it. They can feel it. Like if I just turn around and said like just a blunt compliment to somebody next to me, or they would be able to tell. They'd probably give me a little bit of a smile because they've got a compliment. Because everybody, no matter how much you claim to not like compliments, everybody likes them. Just some people don't know how to deal with them or cope with them. But if it's a genuine compliment, a genuine reason to make somebody smile, where they can tell that that's a really happy person, and that makes me happy. Like, there you go. And then, so we're gonna move on to the last type of depression we've got on the list today. We will dive more into this subject next month as well, because there's so much to dive into on depression. I've got so many notes on it. But for my own state up there, I love talking about it. I love knowing that it makes even the slightest bit of difference to somebody. But for my own well-being, I can't do like 3 or 4 hours of talking about this. Not yet. I'm not ready for that yet. But we do have so last on the list, I'm still learning to take care of myself, and it's very challenging. To learn to love yourself is the most difficult thing you will ever do in your life, but there is nothing more worth it. Like, I still don't fully love myself. I'm learning to. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm feeling happier. I'm pushing along. So no, you didn't hold me up. Stuck, right? We did this last month, right? You'll be able to go and check out the video on YouTube. We did it on anxiety last month. I think I had like 3-4 people talk throughout the whole thing, and it still took an hour and a half. So to have so many of you want to come in here, want to talk about it, I know I haven't been overly helpful on everybody's subjects, and I know that I've probably not said things that make people happy in some regards, or they might not have wanted to hear it. But just remember, guys, I'm not a professional. This isn't my job. I don't do psychiatry and counseling for a living. I just try my best to give my opinion and my genuine thoughts on things, and I do the research behind it. I do try and build it up, and I do try and take it along the way, which is fantastic. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sometimes the things you need most is a different perspective. Exactly. And my opinion is very different to a lot of people's, I think. So yeah. But yeah, the last point on the subject. So this is a odd one, I think, but it's something that I find interesting while looking into it a little bit, and something that I think everybody can resonate with, whether you feel like you're depressed or not. Which is SAD, or seasonal affective disorder. So basically, this is known as like the winter depression. It's a type of depression, as it says in the name, which has seasonal pattern, usually related to winter. So the people who feel more down, more upset during winter and all that jazz, because obviously it starts getting darker early, it's getting colder. It's probably the more lonelier months, no matter where you're from. It becomes the months where you spend more time alone, where you're more time by yourself, because of the weather doesn't permit you to really experience other people's companies and other people's enjoyment, other than maybe like your Christmas celebrations, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, your Hanukkah, or your New Year's, or your Thanksgiving and stuff. Like, you have them little moments where you come together as a group. But outside of that, you'll spend most of your time either with your direct family, your partner, or by yourself. Which for me, it's by myself. I don't leave the house anyway, but that's not the point. But yeah, so I know not many. Well, I feel like this is something that everybody suffers with. I do, whether it be summer, spring, autumn, or fall, depending on which side of the pond you're from. And I just really hope that people can understand it. And I feel like I don't need to explain this one too much. And I feel like that's why it's a good one to end on, because of, like I said, everybody experiences it, whether you realize it or not. Everybody experiences seasonal depression. Christmas is a horrible time for a lot of people. I hate Christmas. I can't stand it. But yeah. After that, it's just that the when to seek help. So if you ever experience symptoms of depression from anything that we've just read through, anything that we've just covered, if you find that for most of the day or every day for like 2 weeks or longer, a low mood may improve after a short time, but if you find that it's still persistent after 2 weeks, definitely go and see a GP. They might send you to a therapist. They might say that give it some more time. They might chuck some drugs at you, which I will say this for me, I'm so glad that I started turning down the antidepressants and the beta blockers like propylene and stuff like that, because yes, they help for the moment while you're experiencing things, but when you're not experiencing things and you still have to keep taking them and they put on a false sense of happiness, it, yeah, it can be very addictive. So but yeah, on that note, guys, right, we are gonna, if anybody's got any final questions, that'd be feel free. I will try and cover them. If not, we will be ending that and moving on to some Dead by Daylight, because yo, Fallen with the tier 1 right at the end, which actually puts in a little segue here. So we have the stream notes. So anything that happens during a stream gets put on here. Your Twitch name in full will go onto here. Oh god, but you maybe didn't. Oh no. Excuse this clip, guys.
How can a dick make me jump? Nobody answer that.
I really wish that. Fallen, you chose a very good time. Fallen. Fallen, in case you're wondering why I say you chose a good time, we're currently recording for YouTube for our Mental Health Matters conversation, and we are just on the verge of ending the recording. So now you're going to be on YouTube saying how the dicks make you jump. So get ready. Thanks, Dad, for the Mental Health Matters story. It's okay, man. As I said, this is going to be a staple. Oh, that's not good. I think this is going to be a staple. It's going to be a monthly. Hello, YouTube, and they can see it in the chat as well. This is going to be a monthly staple. It's going to be a monthly factor. The last day of every month, we will be doing this. Next month will be more on depression, because obviously we only covered the different types and some of the symptoms. There's obviously a lot more to talk about in depth on that. I end it like after an hour, between an hour and 2 hours, just because of to help myself more than anything. Because although I love to talk about this, I love to be open about it. It can put quite a strain on the brain, and I don't want to put myself in a bad place by talking about it and trying to help people. Because I want to continue to do this for as long as I can. I'm so thankful for everybody that showed up today for this recording. If you managed to get to the end, guys, on the YouTube video, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new around here. As you can see, we do a lot of DVD and Apex content, but this will be uploaded once a month. We do have a DVD roulette to upload probably tonight, and then this will get uploaded in the morning. But yeah, so for now, guys, thank you for watching if you did get to the end, and if you did, I love every single one of you, and just know that we are here for you all the time. And as you can see in the chat, we've had quite a successful turnout, and yeah, so peace, YouTube.